Welcome back again to Practice by Numbers with Rohit, and I am Laura from Front Office Rocks. We are talking about how to get the data from Practice by Numbers, because there's so much amazing information in here, into a format that's going to help you to be easier to manage the information. In a previous video, if you haven't watched it yet, we talked about how to do a custom dashboard, and we did it per one person. So if somebody's logging into your practice and they want to see their information on a dashboard, they can go there. What we're going to talk about now is how to do more of a team dashboard. So maybe you want to manage, your hygiene team or the doctor team, and how do we set up a team dashboard? So Rohit's going to walk us through how to set it up, and I'm going to step in every so often to ask questions to make sure that not only I understand this at the end of the video, that you do too. So Rohit, will you get us started with this?
Yes, thank you, Laura. Let's take a look at hygiene especially. So most offices have anywhere from 1 to 7, 6, 7, 8 hygienists.
I would love 7 or 8 hygienists. Maybe, I don't know.
Average what I've seen is about 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work to understand which hygienist is working well. Are they doing well from a standpoint of, is the hygiene department productive or not? How many of their people are coming back on time? How many are not? So if we take a look at hygiene, we'll look at multiple different areas. One is to take a look at if they're getting pre-appointed, okay? Meaning if they're being scheduled for their next visit or not. Okay? Another thing to look at is fluoride. Another one to look at is periodontics. What percentage is periodontics? Another important example to take a look at is what percentage of production in an office is coming from hygiene. Okay? Because there are certain metrics and certain guidelines that you should be following. Another aspect to look at is if you track certain kind of codes, you put those on those dashboards. We're going to take a look at all of those different things. So let's go. And this is going to be a team dashboard. This is not going to be an individual dashboard. So you can compare different team members right next to each other. And how do we get there? It's very similar to an individual dashboard. So for example, I will go down here into provider productivity. And with the hygienist, instead of looking at their total production, for me, looking at hygiene is more important by looking at their daily production, because that's
right.
A little bit better indicator than their total production, because it should be much more consistent from day to day. So instead of picking this overall production window, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. I'm going to pick the average production per hour, which contains the daily production as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to go here, and same exact way like we did for the individual dashboards, I'm going to pick Add to Homepage. And now in this case, I'm going to call this one as hygiene.
Okay.
Now, instead of picking a person from here, which you could pick all your hygienists right from here, I'm going to take a shortcut. I'm going to say, pick all of my hygienists.
And so these get pulled from the setup. So you have to make sure that your setup is correct, that your hygienists are all marked as hygienists in the back end.
And
setups.
Right. And also make sure the right hygienists are marked active and the ones that are not working are marked inactive.
Okay. Sounds great.
Okay. And I'm going to also click on this button. What this is doing is it's going to put all of them individually, because I'm going to compare them with each other.
Okay.
If I do not click on this, they will all be huddled under one KPI.
Okay.
Okay. But I will click on this and it will compare them individually. And let's see what just happened. So a new dashboard got created.
So just in case you haven't watched the video before, where that line is, where he's talking about, everything above it is a custom dashboard. Everything below is Practice by Numbers dashboard. So when you design the new dashboard, it's going to go up at the top.
Right. So if I click on hygiene, all of my hygienists show up now over here. So 1,080 per day versus 1,146 versus 804, 809, and 1175. So now these are 5 of our hygienists compared to each other and what they're doing in terms of their daily production. Let's go down the same way. We're going to take a look at there, pre-appointments.
So you went back to the regular dashboard and we're looking for hygiene pre-appointments, okay?
Yes, I just went to the provider productivity again because I will pick the hygiene pre-appointment from there.
Okay.
And I will come down here, pick the hygiene pre-appointment, click add to homepage.
Then we're going to pick the homepage that we want it to go to, which you just set up because it was new a minute ago.
Right, so that's hygiene. And we're going to do the same thing. Select all my hygienists. You could, if you don't have them set properly, you could pick them individually from your list. You don't have to use the shortcut.
But it's much faster, especially if you have 7 or 8 hygienists.
Right.
And then we want to create the KPI for each provider. So that means we see it per hygienist.
Right. And then we hit save.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you a question about this. I see production per hour and then hygiene pre-appointment. So we're seeing a lot on the screen here. Can I edit the screen so that I could see it like in different orders? What options do I have for that?
It's the same exact thing. You can come in here and modify any of these items and change them around.
So you hit the pencil next to it. And the one thing I'm going to say right now is I don't like HYG. Can I change it to hygiene if I want, or hygiene department?
Yes, you can change whatever you want. You can put a whole another name in it.
Okay.
But here's another thing you can do. There's a lot of information on these panels.
Right.
Okay, let's say you're not interested in all of this information. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all of my average production per hour panels because let's say I'm not interested in knowing how many days they worked. All I want to find out is.
How are you doing that? Sorry, I'm like, do that. Okay. Oh, remove. Okay.
Okay. So I just removed all of my panels that contained average daily production or average hourly production because it was taking too much space. And that's, the only thing I want to find out is how much are they doing on a daily basis. That's the only thing I'm interested in. In that case, I will just go down here and all KPIs and I will type daily.
Okay. So go back to so the all KPIs is on the bottom of the left. And that is where all 357 KPIs, which is key practice indicators, are listed. And so now you're going to pick daily. What are we looking for?
So we're just looking for average daily production.
Okay.
Okay. And I will pick that same exact thing, put it on the right dashboard.
Yep. For the hygienists.
For the hygienist and looking at them individually. If I hit save, I have now just that information.
That's great.
There are daily production. Now it doesn't have all the other information now because it doesn't have how many days they worked, how many hours they worked, and all that good stuff. But you can decide what is the things that are important for you and you add them there.
Right.
I like the panels because the panels give you all the pertinent information all bunched together in one single place.
Right.
But the KPIs give you a very concise piece of information so that it doesn't take that much space.
Okay. That's excellent.
Yeah.
So who has access to seeing this?
So right now, the only person who created has access to seeing this. But you should go ahead and share this with anybody who should have access. So you should share this with all your hygienists, maybe your hygiene, if the practice is big enough, sometimes people have hygiene coordinators and they should see this. But all of the hygienists definitely should have access to it. Now, even if they don't have access to it, you should use this particular page during your staff meetings.
Right.
Okay, because they should see who is doing a better job versus the other. So if I say
it's competition, but we want to know how we're doing because we should be running our office on statistics and how staff's doing, not just based off of how we feel things are happening in the practice.
Yeah, and it's also not, if you use these numbers as a stick, they're not going to work. At best, you're going to get some sort of a compliance. It's not going to be motivating. But if you use the numbers as a motivator, as a carrot, and as tying it with bonuses, another thing, whatever it works for you, and for celebrating, Because if you
Right.
do make those numbers, if you celebrate, they're going to look forward to it. Because if the only time they see the numbers is when they're going to get a steak,
Right.
it's not going to be interesting.
Right. So the one thing that I recommend, and I mentioned it in the past videos that we've done, is start with designing a custom dashboard on numbers that matter to you right now. So these are the basic numbers to start with. And the reason for doing it is, like you said, to compare, to see how we're doing against each other, but then also to compare, like, let's say we want to be better at pre-appointment. So we want to compare last month to this month. Are our numbers going up? Who's doing better? Who's not? Is our production going up? Are we scheduling better? So start with this, then you can add to this custom dashboard as you start wanting. Let's say the next game is to increase perio. Well, then we can add perio to this if we want to start tracking that. But don't overwhelm your team. I think you mentioned in the past video, not more than 10 numbers, 10, 15 numbers on there. Because if you put everything on there, it's just too much and your staff's not going to get motivated by it.
No, and like the number that this sheet that we just created, how many numbers does it really have that are important? Which there's one number, all of this, even there are 5 numbers in here, it's just one number, which is production per day. Okay, so per person, there's only one number in here. And the other number that's important up here is the pre-appointment percentage. So
Right.
This whole page really only has just two numbers that are of any consequence. All of the other information is basically supporting data. How
Sure.
many patients did they see? How many, but what percentage, what is the thing that people should be looking at in terms of, are we meeting it or not?
Right.
It's just that top number over here and the hourly production. And if you set the goals, which we are not going to cover in this particular video, but if you have set the goals, this would light up like a Christmas tree, which is red, yellow, green, which is, are you meeting them?
Okay.
And in that case, you're not even looking at a number. All you're looking at is it yellow? Is it green? Or are you not quite making it?
That's great. That's wonderful. So as an office manager, I can set up department dashboards and I can quickly look through each dashboard to say, are we green? Are we yellow? Are things bad? Where do I need to put my attention? I think that's wonderful. Great. Well, in the essence of time, do you have anything else that we need to add to this video to help everyone understand how to set up a group dashboard?
No, and if you have any questions, you can always submit a question and we can create more custom videos. And I think that would be really useful is as you look at these videos and if you have questions, I'm sure Laura would love to talk about it, and so will I. And customizations are really your friend, and use them and just start working with it.
Yep. And if you are looking, once you start looking at your numbers for ways to improve pre-appointment production, that's where Front Office Rocks comes in. So we do front office videos and back office videos, scripts and everything that you need. So start learning your numbers and then start learning how to improve them. So thank you again for logging into one of our videos on Practice by Numbers with Front Office Rocks. And please check out future ones to help you use the software better.
All right. Thank you, Laura. Thanks, everyone.